Hello there, and welcome to episode 46 of Dead Reflections Podcast. We are your hosts,
Caleb.
Colby.
And I'm your boy, Josh. Thank you so much for tuning in wherever you are. Our goal here is to give someone at the table the chills, and if we're lucky, we might even send those spooks along to you. Familiar with failure updates? We're a band. Go listen to our music.
We have no shows at the moment.
Yeah, no shows, no updates. We got a new shirt. This is a hat. That is a hat. Yeah, this is our band hat.
Congrats.
We haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, merch.
Yeah.
I don't have any merch on. We got bouquet.
Okay. Yeah.
We've got the Houston Dynamo. But yeah,
fuck Chicharito.
It's your turn to do a story.
It is.
You
my
have
turn.
the boner. Wait, where'd the boner go? Where's my boner? We have a runaway boner. Alvin, did you eat the boner? We have a special guest, by the way. Puppy. Alvin.
He just got settled.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
He looks like
crying.
a wolf. Oh, he looks sad. Look.
Hey, shut up.
No, you don't be mean to Alvin. All right, so what you got for us?
So, that's crazy that we're already jumping in. I have a story from a no sleep post on Reddit. The user is Beardify, and he wanted us to let everybody know that he has an ebook available on Amazon titled Harvest Time, and to also check out his subreddit called r/Beardify for more stories.
Yeah, we'll definitely put some links in the description for you to go click on and go buy his book.
Yeah. So initially I had picked one story and asked him about it, and he said, this one's actually already written for another podcast. Here is a master list of all of my stories, and he was very kind to share it and let us know what he would like. So yeah.
So we'll have like content for the next year.
Well, I'm definitely gonna have fun revisiting and reading these, and I'll probably pick up the Harvest Time because it is only $3 on the Kindle price.
That's a steal.
So, very cheap. So I'll be picking that up. But today's story is called "I Don't Want to Be Alone in the Dark Anymore."
That's me all the time.
I thought I'd hit the jackpot when I landed a job as an adult teacher of adults. No more helicopter parents, busybody administrators, or cringy TikTok trends. I'd be working with people who wanted to improve their lives and get a fresh start. The only catch was that I'd be working in the Civic Center, not an ordinary school, and the classes would be in the evening. As he showed me to my new classroom, the hiring agent for this new program explained that I'd be the last person to leave the building. Turning off the lights and locking up would be my responsibility. At the time, that seemed like a fair price to pay for the work I'd been doing. I took a look around the yellow-tiled floor, bare brick walls, and dusty fluorescent lights. It needed work, but it felt like a place I could call my own.
God damn it.
Give me it. The first thing I did was to erase the whiteboard. Written across it in huge, childish letters, I read, "I don't want to be alone in the dark anymore." Some sort of prank, I figured. Or maybe a leftover from an old lesson. I smirked, erased it, and didn't give the message much attention. I spent the next week scrambling for materials, setting up my classroom, and troubleshooting the Civic Center's outdated technology. I barely had time to look around, much less notice the eerie solitude of the Civic Center's dark hallways. But when my first students came in the door, The knot of nervousness that had built up in my stomach finally unwound, and I remember why I had taken this job in the first place. The adults in my class were of all ages, backgrounds, and they were working towards a change. It was meaningful work and interesting people, and even better than I had hoped for. The only thing I didn't like about the job was staying late at the Civic Center. It was a large building, and my classroom was on the 5th floor. The blackness outside the windows only emphasized by the loneliness of the night. You even hear the slightest sounds under conditions like that, and in time you find yourself wondering what might be making them. I was putting up posters the first time it happened. My students had all gone, and the only light in the entire center spilled out into the corridor from my classroom. There was no reason for anyone else to be in the building, and yet I heard footsteps. Climbing down from the desk, I snuck my head out into the hallway. Seeing no one, I chalked it up to overwork, but I found myself looking over my shoulder while I left that night. A few evenings later, it was back, the unmistakable echo of something walking down the corridor. It was heavier, somehow, like the source of the noise was larger and closer than before. This time I knew I wasn't dreaming. With my keys clenched tightly in my fist, I decided I was going to find this intruder. I went room by room, turning on the lights as I searched storage closets, archives, meeting rooms, offices, and craft workshops. Whoever came in must have found that everyone was gone and left, I rationalized. But then, why hadn't I heard any sound from the elevators? I started leaving with the students after that, turning out the lights behind us as I hustled everyone out of the door. It wasn't always possible, though, and I began dreading the days when I knew I'd be up there by myself. Our minds have an amazing ability to hide from themselves that which they do not see, dare to see, or can't explain. I told myself that it wasn't footsteps, only some late-night machinery activating. When I began to hear other sounds too, like someone crawling in the empty space between the ceiling tiles and the roof, I told myself that it was rats or pipes, anything to avoid facing the truth that was scurrying above my head. Instead, I locked my classroom door and bolted for the exit as soon as the noises started, although later I couldn't explain why my heart was pounding and my t-shirt was soaked with sweat. As if to challenge my skepticism, the occurrences on the 5th floor became stranger and stranger. Lights, radios, and appliances turned off and on without warning. More than once I found myself running like a panicked animal from the sound of a microwave or the static of a television in a dark room. I got tunnel vision as I barreled down the hallway, the lights going out one by one behind me. Doors and cabinets flew open and slammed without warning, rattling my already frayed nerves. Such things only happened, of course, when I was totally alone. I was getting spray for the whiteboard in the janitorial closet when the single light bulb burst and the door slammed shut. I ran for it, knocking over mops and buckets as I went. When I slammed my body against the push bar, I couldn't be sure if the footsteps I had heard from that cluttered room were the echoes of my own running feet, or something else, closing in behind me. Last Thursday, I was driving out of the parking lot when I realized that my house keys were missing. In a huff, I reopened the outside doors of the center and mashed the elevator button for the 5th floor. I reached my classroom, letting out a sigh of relief when the lights flickered on and I saw my keys glittering on my desk. Snatched them up and I hurried out of the door. Ding! The elevator. I felt my throat go dry. No one else should be in the building after hours, and if they were, I didn't want to confront them alone. I thought of the heavy, dragging footsteps. But there was no movement. Even the emergency staircase was beside the elevator, so whoever was in it knew I'd have to pass by eventually. What was the alternative? Spend the night in my classroom? I took a deep breath and I headed out. The light of the elevator beckoned, so bright and cheerful it seemed like a trap. As I approached, though, the door slid shut, leaving me in darkness as the elevator took its slow journey back down to the 1st floor. I patted my pockets for my phone before realizing, with a sinking feeling, that I had left it in the car. Another deep breath, and I tried to push the bar of the emergency stairway, jammed shut. I was mashing the elevator button frantically when I heard something approaching, not in front, but from behind, the same heavy, plodding steps as before. I turned around, eyes wide, but I could see nothing in the darkness. A putrid smell filled the air. The thing in the dark came closer and closer until, paralyzed by fear, I felt hot breath on my face. Ding! The elevator door opened, and the light flooded into the hallway, and I was alone. I contacted the hiring manager, the custodians, and anyone else I could think that could explain what I was experiencing, but I came up with nothing. There were no urban legends about this place, no murders, disturbed burial grounds, or strange lights in the sky, just a dull, ordinary government building where sometimes I had to be alone at night. A few minutes ago, I told the last 2 students of the day to meet me by the elevators. I was going to use the restroom, and then we'd all leave together. It took a little longer than expected, and I got engrossed in reading the graffiti in the bathroom stall. Among the usual insults, phone numbers, and political drivel was a simple message in pencil. I don't want to be alone in the dark anymore. I ran my fingers over it, frowning. My heart sank as I heard a door open and close. My students must have got tired of waiting and taking the stairs out. I hurried to finish my business and leave the stall, but barely a second later, the lights flickered out, and I heard movement in the stall beside me. It swung open, then those heavy footsteps dragged themselves across the bathroom floor to my own bathroom stall, stopping just in front of it. That smell, those hot, wheezing breaths. I can't get a call out because of the thick walls, and data is spotty, but I think only the light from my phone is keeping whatever, or whoever it is, out there at bay. As soon as this battery dies, I won't be alone in the dark anymore. Thank you to Beardify for access to the story and others. Remember to check out r/Beardify and make sure to head to Amazon and check out his short story collection called Harvest Time. Again, John Beardify is his name, and it is $2.99. So please do check it out.
That was a good story. I got goosebumps like multiple times.
I didn't realize until I was reading it that I forgot that footsteps get you.
Yeah,
So there's
I
a
was
lot
like,
of footsteps in there, yeah.
dude, footsteps are not my cup of tea. That and
Did
dolls.
you ever share that story on here?
I think we've gone over everything that's happened to us already.
No, but like the specific, like in the house.
Yeah, and the one at the house in
Did-
Burnham.
Did we? It's been.
I feel like I did.
We've done so many
We've
episodes.
talked to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talked about it so many times, but I don't know if it's been on the podcast.
Well, if it hasn't, I'm sorry if you've already heard this story, but yes, there is this old schoolhouse that in the town that I grew up in, that it used to be a house to teach kids, like German kids, English, and then it became like a normal house. Well, then it got abandoned, and there was one time when we went to go check it out. There was a lot of creepy stuff that happened there, but I had a shadow figure like run basically at me, and you could hear the and that shit like fucked me up, like, and it just, I can't do the footsteps thing, like the running. I can't do that shit. Like, it just creeps me out. Like, you could literally make a horror movie with no scary people and just have the footsteps, and dude, I'd be like, yep, that's just scary. Yeah.
That reminds me of the time I sent you that TikTok of the
fucking
dude running out of the darkness.
yeah, fucking.
It was like,
Dude, those TikToks fucked me up, man.
it was like 1 a.m. and you were at work.
Yeah. I work overnight by myself, so you're an asshole, but I love you.
The perfect recipe to get scared.
Mhm.
The perfect recipe to
Mhm.
get spooked.
Plus, that place is haunted, so.
Should we read the rest of what was in Alexander? What was his name? Stephen Alexander.
Oh, you can if you want.
Yeah.
Because
We've been just
because we
picking.
don't do that anymore.
No, it's only like 1 or 2, I think.
Entertain.
Entertain.
Do the scat thing that you're doing earlier. You were doing it earlier.
The scat?
Yeah, you were singing. Good one. Do it now.
I don't want to be anything other than what I've been trying to be lately.
Oh, there's only 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right.
What is there some sage?
there is some sage.
All right. So
Smells good.
y'all gotta share stories if y'all have.
Oh, of these.
Oh, like
Okay.
recent scary stories? Or, of these?
Regarding these
Oh,
topics.
these are pretty specific.
Yeah.
There's the Jersey Devil and creepy YouTube channel.
Yeah, I didn't choose either of those. So I don't know.
Well,
Creepy
these are
YouTube
both of your
channel.
handwriting.
No, not. That's not my handwriting.
These are both of your handwriting.
I might have written them, but I didn't like pick them.
Dude, there's a lot of dude. Have you guys, speaking of creepy YouTube channels, have y'all ever dove into those? You can find some fucking weird shit.
The only like creepy YouTube channel that I've recently dove down is Nexpo, and I've shared some of his stories on here.
Okay, like I'm talking about like not even like the people telling stories. It's just weird video footage.
Oh, so like just like found footage or like security shit.
Yeah, something. Yeah, kind of. Like I mean, like there's like this. Like, is this? Are we telling this now?
Yeah,
sure.
I think we're just getting rid of what's in there.
As far as like today's medium, most of my like spooky videos come from TikTok.
I was gonna say TikTok has become such a good place for short format, like
because
scary
it's
stuff.
like that. Like you get the delivery right away, and then you're like, whoa, and then you hit the next one.
Even like the 3-minute videos on there are entertaining to watch.
Like the one it's like about the doppelgangers. And it always shows the dude standing off. Oh, those things. It's
the same audio of like if you see someone that looks like you.
There's one that every time I fucking think about it, it gives me. I got goosebumps.
It's so fucking disgusting.
Sage.
Sage is
the smell. It's so bad.
I'm surprised. It's very faint for me because I can't smell very well, but I can smell it.
He cracked his nose too many times.
Like, it smells like a dog pissed on like in a room for like a week.
I did not smell it at all. It just it smelled earthy.
Smells like sage.
We should burn it.
Yeah, right now.
That smell but burnt, you'd love it.
Maybe I'll just.
Maybe you whiffed it at the wrong spot.
No. Oh, geez.
There's that one.
Does sage always smell like that?
There's this one TikTok that was the doppelganger one, and it was this girl that does them all the time. And she's really good at it
with the face.
Yeah, and the one she was like in the kitchen or something, and then it shows the hallway, and the face is like down at the bottom, and I was like, no, like the whole what is it? Not Silicon Valley, Uncanny Valley.
Yeah,
like I was like, that's making my fucking red flags like go off so bad.
Well, that's what's perfect about it is that's just good filmmaking. Yeah, because you're picking a spot that's not like human height. Correct. Yeah. Oh, I just rewatched. I think we talked about it, the Insidious movies. And I'm such a fan of the way that those are shot because every now and then you'll be put like to see the outside of the house, but you're at like a weird angle. Yeah, like it's just off canter, and you're like, this is like, weird.
It makes you uncomfortable. Yeah. There's
the steady pushes that they'll do, just like zoom ins, just real perfectly placed. Yeah, it's very well
done.
They're
masters of horror,
and we're seeing that at a TikTok level with people in their houses, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy what technology and apps and all of that is like opened up. Like that used to be shit that you had to go see a movie theater to see. Now you can just watch it on your phone.
Yeah.
And it's done by somebody that didn't go to school for it or anything. They just are bored at home. YouTube videos. There's like there's a lot of them. Like there's that one. I don't remember the name of the profile, but it was like a guy. He wore like the witch doctor, and then he was like saying all this random shit, like spewing out.
Witch doctor or plague doctor?
Plague doctor. Yeah.
Okay, like the mask and everything.
Yeah. And like it's in black and white, and and he's like naming off like coordinates and like all these random things. There's that one famous video. It's like a lady sitting at a table, like at the end, like you, and it's like a dinner table, and like the house is like burning down, and it's just like slowly zooming in on her face the whole time, and she's just got this like fucked up, and then her fucking head just drops like on the table, and she's like dead, and there's no rhyme or reason to it at all. It's not a music video, nothing. It's just I think she says something. She like says some kind of fucked up thing, and then
see, I've never gotten into that, but that might be something to do because the closest I've gotten to it is like people making shorts of like, here's a cool horror story, like movie idea, but in a 3-minute video or whatever.
Like Lights Out, like how Lights Out was originally like that film festival short, and then it became a movie. Yeah. Which go watch Lights Out. That's an awesome movie. Fucking that. Talk about the running bullshit.
But I've never gotten into that side of YouTube, so
that'd be something. It's one of those things you find
dive into.
It's one of those things that you like find a video, and then all of a sudden, like 3 hours later, you've watched all these fucked up videos. I'm having deja vu really hard right now.
Oh, weird. We've also had a pickup of like weird stuff happening around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
the
happened?
Trash can lid.
Oh,
Trash
the
can
trash
lid
can
just
lid flipping
came off.
That happened to our guitarist who isn't a part of the podcast, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
I mean, it happened to all of us.
Yeah.
We were all here.
But like, I was just like,
we
yeah,
were like
man.
just about to start the riff. And
Yeah.
he's like, "What was that?" I was like, "Oh, you ready? You ready to go?" Trying to ignore it.
We've gotten to a point where we just kind of like blow it off, and he's not used to
Should
it.
I live here.
We should check the door, see if.
Oh yeah, we got new doors now.
Adapted to the new door.
Yeah, so this is not going to matter for anybody that doesn't know. There's 2 doors in here. One of them for a while there would lock on us constantly. It hasn't done it in a while, but we switched the doors, so they're just flip flopped, and I don't know, no issues here. Ghost
It's
can't
always
mess with the doorknobs.
the doorknob lock, not the deadbolt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
ghosties want to keep us in here, but
Which,
all right.
I mean, like it always bothered me that it wasn't the deadbolt, because like if you want to fucking keep us in, use the better lock. Like, come on, dumb ghost,
Yeah.
stupid ass ghost.
You're just trying to get him to like fuck with us. And then the Jersey Devil, y'all know the whole thing about that,
Yeah.
right? About the lady like fucking the devil and having the devil spawn
Mm-hmm.
and
Good
all that
times.
fun stuff. Yeah. Fucking
Wow.
Black Sabbath. Hail Santa.
Speaking of that, did you see Ozzy's coming back?
Oh,
Again?
Jesus.
Yeah, Sharon.
Wait, did he
convinced
die
him-
and he came back from the dead?
Again,
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah, multiple times.
it was like the 7th time.
Sharon! I turned into a fucking dog. I'll never forget that. That's like the only part of the Osbournes. Have y'all ever watched that show?
For a brief
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Yeah,
whenever
and
it
there was
out.
like a fucking commercial
Was that
for
on,
it.
is that on MTV
Yeah, or
or
no,
VH1?
E. I think it was on E.
E?
Yeah.
I don't
But
know.
yeah, there was like a commercial for it, and it was like a fucking chihuahua with Ozzy's glasses on. He's like, Sharon, I turned into a fucking dog, and it like bleeps it out and all that shit. And then she was like a dog. It was like the most random
It's a
fucking thing.
commercial?
Yeah, it was a
Oh,
commercial
okay,
for the
okay.
show. And I was like, okay, I'll watch it. Like, like what the fuck? All right, well, I guess it's time to
Who's our new friend?
bring this to a close.
I don't know. I don't have a name for it.
Fred.
We got a new plant.
His name is Fred.
Robert.
Robert. I like
hate
Robert.
Robert.
No, Robert Plant.
Robert Plant.
It's a Ted
Like-
Lasso joke.
All right.
He said, what was it? Here's your succulent. His name is Robert. And then he's like, oh, it's okay. And then he pulls out a piece of paper and he's like, this is Jimmy. Jimmy Page.
Jesus Christ. Fucking Ted Lasso's my spirit animal. That's it for episode 46 of Dead Reflections Podcast. We'd like to shout out our friends in Dark Hour Podcast, No Man's Land, and FTS Paranormal. Really creepy stuff going on over there. We encourage y'all to go check them out. Follow us at Dead Reflections Podcast on all social medias, or follow the link tree to find our socials: Spotify, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the video version of this podcast on YouTube. Email us at deadreflectionspod@gmail.com to submit your stories, or let us know how we're doing. Be sure to follow our band Familiar with Failure at FWFTX on all socials. Please leave a rating or review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thank you for all your continued support. And remember, tell your family, tell your friends, and tell the monsters under your bed to listen to Dead Reflections Podcast. Have a spooky night.